bags were horror lies.
Hello, welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sundown Night reviewer. And to bring the end of our theme week, which was A Nightmare on Elm Street, not only looking at the movies, but looking at a chapter each from the documentary Never Sleep Again. So I got Freddy's Dead. Yes, still rocking this rather bad New Line DVD box set of the Freddy movies. So, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, with the documentary, the doc chapter, which is Every Town Has an Elm Street. I love the Freddy franchise, but I really don't like this movie. Have to get that out there straight away. This by far is the weakest one for me. I don't enjoy watching this one. I think the story's weak. I think the acting's weak, but also the characters are just rehashed from like older Dream Warriors, for example. It just feels like a rehash. And number 4 as well, Rennie Harlin's version, which was already a kind of a rehash, but a rehash developed on 3 to 4. But this is just void of all ideas. And it was Rachel Talalay, the director, is involved with previous Freddy bits and pieces, because he was brought on to direct this. From the documentary, she even said they went too far with the humour, and boy, I agree with that. It's just bad jokes. It's just bad jokes which just aren't funny. And it's like, yeah, your movies, you get movies which are products of their time, but I mean, this one, it's just cringeworthy, some of it. I mean, I can see why some people would enjoy this. I mean, I can. It's just too far removed from what Freddy is. It's like there's no angst there. There's nothing scary there anymore. And from the documentary, actually, so on an early draft, we were actually getting work and stories done by Peter Jackson. Yeah. He was working on it, and like he had a point. The story that he was working on is like Freddy has no power, and people are just taking drugs to make them sleep to go and basically beat the crap out of Freddy. He doesn't have his power anymore, and that kind of translate into like the real movie, the real world of this. It's like Freddy's just lost everything that he ever had. It's so iconic and so powerful in these early movies, and it's just everything. He's just become a big joke in this movie, and it's such a shame. It's not great to see Robert Englund. He is Freddy. It's like, of course he has to act. It's not like that's just who he is, but it's almost like he didn't really have anything. It's not like he's phoned in, like Michael Caine, The Hand, for example. Apparently he did that movie because he wanted to buy a new garage for his house. You can tell. But I don't think you get this from England. He just didn't have anything really to work with, and it's such a shame, especially when you hear other things as well from the documentary, that you actually had a lot of the crew from like John Walters movies, and you had Divine was apparently planned to have a part in this movie before the tragic death, of course. A few months before, I'm not exactly sure. That would have been pretty interesting. But, if only had some of a Peter Jackson or a John Walters heavy touch on this movie, because it just, for me, just lacked all kind of direction. It's kind of whatever was popular at the time. Like, obviously the time when this came out, the video games were kind of kicking in, and you even have a terrible video game section, and it's just so goofy. I mean, I know there's meant to be humour with that, but the humour, it just goes into goofiness, and like I said, it's annoying watching it. I mean, you have a few deaths from like some of our characters, but basically, like the movie, it's like we're in this, we've travelled out, so we're in a different area for like now the franchise is kind of pushing outwards, and we're in this like troubled youth house kind of thing, and we're following like some of the kids. We have like this girl that's sexually abused, the one guy who's wearing hearing aid, he was physically abused, and then like this kind of stoner who comes from a rich family and they just don't want to do anything. He just doesn't want to do anything. And then we have a John Doe who's kind of like he's just lost all his memory from the start of the movie. We're following him, and so we're seeing these really weird places. Like this one thing, they all go on this trip in the van, and there's just no kids anywhere, and it's this theme park. It's kind of really odd and freaky because there's no children, and all the parents are acting, well, the adults are acting very weird, and it's like they have no memory of their kids or anything. It's because like Freddy has been taking them, and you find out it's because he had a child of his own that was taken from him. And so it's our John Doe in this movie, a guy who can't remember anything. But he believes that he is Freddy's son. That's why he's not getting killed. He's like having many kind of one-to-ones almost with Freddy, but like he's kind of coming more or less unscathed through these different things. But anyway, we start to dig a little deeper into the movie. Like one by one, the kids start to get killed off, and eventually we find out that it's that he had a girl. Now, with all these troubled teens, we have a therapist, and she's working with them. We find out that she is the daughter, and we are trying. Oh yeah, Yaphet Kotto's in this. It's like, what's he doing in this movie? It's so weird that he's in it. But anyway, yeah, he's in it, and they're trying to figure out, because they believe these kids, like everyone else seems to kind of, they get a memory fog and they forget everything that has to do with any of them has children, but he can control his dreams, so he remembers all of this stuff. Like, because when they go back to this halfway house kind of thing, troubled teens home, they can't remember any of the ones which have died. They don't know who they're talking about, but he does. So anyway, they're figuring out this Freddy's a real guy, real killer. They're finding out all the stuff. This is when they find out that she is actually his son. She had a name change. The daughter, sorry, had a name change. And they devise a plan that bring him out into the real world. And that's how they'll be able to kill him. So for some reason, they put on these shitty 3D glasses, the red and the green, or red and the blue. Can't remember. We put them on, and that's when we get our terrible ending to the movie. Yeah, so this is like this is a 3D movie. It's not. It's like the last 10 minutes. It's really tacky, and it's obviously back in the early 90s. So the 3D is not the 3D that we're seeing in like IMAX and things like that. It literally is those cardboard crappy glasses you're putting up. I don't know why she needs them up, but she puts them on, and obviously she manages to pull him out, and then she dispatches of him, and obviously he explodes in a 3D kind of way. And that's the end of our movie. Like I said, I mean, not that you guess, because I'm rocking a shitty DVD box. I'm just holding off on getting that blue set, because as soon as I do, please, someone somewhere put out a really nice 4K box set, or even a really nice blue edition. Someone like Scream Factory, Criterion, Arrow, I don't know, anyone, Eureka, 88 Films, Synapse, anyone grab it, please, and give it some love that it deserves. But I do love this series. It's great. It's great. I love 1 to 4. Number 5 isn't so bad. New Nightmare I don't like so much. The kind of the meta kind of. I mean, I have no problem with it. I love Scream. I hadn't seen it for many years, and I revisited it, and I still didn't love it. I was really hoping that I'd just forgotten about it, been stupid, watched it again, and thought, "Oh, this is fantastic." So it really is like the last two movies from this franchise can really. I have no interest in watching them. It's like I said, the first three are the big hitters, and being in Finland, you gotta love the Rennie Harlin number 4. But anyway, that's the end of the review. I'm starting to ramble, getting tired again. I need to start doing these reviews a little earlier again in the evening or earlier in the week or something like that. But I hope you did enjoy this week. It's been a fun week. Some really great reviews from the guys and really interesting snippets when we've all been able to pick into the Never Sleep Again and draw out little bits of info that maybe we didn't know before. But anyway, I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.